Okay, so this time let's add color to our current surface. So I'll double click my base material so that I can access the user defined maps, and then I can choose base color. After I have added the base color, I will go and create this space bar. I'll try to have a curvature smooth. I'll select that, and then the curvature smooth, I will get this normal, apply it, and there it is. So this is going to be the guide for the color. Next thing is I will create a blend, then I will blend the result of the curvature smooth with the height. This is the last color so far for the height. I mean, this is the last node so far for the height. So this result, I will click and drag it here, so they will mix. I can press Alt and click to create a joint here, so that I can move, so that they will not look messy, those lines. Okay, so now the blend is mixed. I can try adjusting just an opacity. Okay, so the next thing is I will add more detail to this so that the color will go into it will be more detailed also. So it will just be the same steps. I can spacebar, add grunge map, for example, grunge map 13, this one, and then I will create another blend. I will blend this result with this result, and then I'll just mix them with a blend mode like soft light. There, I can even adjust opacity just a little to avoid too much darkening areas, for example, because that will be flat in coloring. Okay, next is let's continue adding some more details. So let me just move that. Okay, so next is I'll just add or create another grunge map. The grunge maps are very detailed, so they are always nice to use. Then I'll just spacebar and choose another blend. Blend this grunge map with this result below. There. So again, I'll just use another soft light blend mode for it. Then this one is becoming very dark. So what I'll do is I'll mix it, spacebar, with something called Highpass. So this Highpass Grayscale will allow me, for example, if this here it's too dark appearing, so I'll just click this Highpass, and then the Highpass flattens everything or makes them even, and then I can adjust the radius so that it will not be too flat or even. There. Okay, so next will be, now I will add the gradient node. I'll just spacebar to a gradient map. So as you can see, gradient map is here. I will just connect this Highpass Grayscale to that, and then I'll click the gradient editor, and now I will start to I can add colors manually here, and as I add, so the gradient also reacts, but it is not coloring out properly. So I can use this. I can use a source image. For example, this one. This is a Quadro image viewer. So I just have a downloaded image of a surface. So I can use, for example, my pick gradient and go to my Quadro tool. Here. It's not showing properly. Okay, so now I will be adding this gradient map, for example, and then I will click and have that added. Then in the gradient editor property, I can click that, and from here, for example, I can create, or I can click the gradient, and then I can click and assign colors on those color stops. And as you can see, the gradient color is reacting, but it's not coloring properly. As we view it here, it is still appearing flat and less detailed. So what I can do is I can bring out this Quadro tool. This is a tool wherein I can view my reference or saved image, so it will always be there on top. Then I can go to my this Quadro tool. You can download it in the internet for free. This gradient editor, I'll click this. So now if I pick gradient, I can click and drag, for example, on arrange here, and as you can see, it creates color and follows, and the reaction of the gradient map with all the other nodes is more detailed. So I can do another pick. For example, I'll click and drag here. So there, that's too contrasting. I can do another pick, drag, excuse me, try and pick here. Okay, so that is okay with me. I can now close this, and then I can now proceed back. I can set aside my Quadro here. Oops, sorry. So the next thing to do now is apply this onto the scene, onto the surface. So I can apply that by clicking this main base material. I'll drag it, of course, and then if you remember the base color that we activated here, I can click that and drag it and connect. So now, as you can see, we have our surface color added to the scene. Let's try adding some more. For example, let's try to further detail the coloring. So let's add a little bit more variation here. For example, I will select this curvature. I'll create a gradient map for it, since it is also a grayscale. I'll click that. It could add further detail here. I can press Alt and click so that it will just appear like that, still organized. Now I will blend these two. I'll spacebar, do a blend, mix them again together, and then let's say in this mix I would like to have an overlay mixed up. See, so it's a bit more detailed now, but it's still not showing in our view there because we have not yet connected it or updated it here onto our base material on the color slots, because we will still add some more details before we connect it. So let's say I'll spacebar, add a dirt, let's say dirt 3, we used that before. Something like that. And then I'll also use another gradient map for that, so that it will become a color, and then I'll blend them together. So I'm blending this and then this, and let's say another overlay, or let's try it with subtract. There. Oops. Subtract, and then I can adjust the opacity for this there. And then with this, now I can just go back here and hold shift and then drag this back. Again, I'll just shift control. Oops, sorry. I can just select this and connect it there. So now it became more detailed and more seen. Shift right click, shift control, right click drag. So compared earlier, our scene is more detailed in color. I'll see you on the next lesson.